Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Gettin Buzzed. I'm Dustin Brackett, CEO and founder of HIVE Digital Strategy. And with me as always is Michael Thibault. He's our business development manager. Oh, nice. I like the wave, then the finger guns.
And then I pretended like I was frozen because we've been having some internet issues. So
I feel like that's just a thing though.
yeah,
like
classic quarantine.
Everyone's going through it. Yeah. Today we're going to be talking about chatbots, what it can mean for your business, how to utilize them, and kind of why you should have it on your website. We'll also get into a workshop that we have coming up, free virtual workshop that we'll be going through kind of how to set up a chatbot and how to utilize it on your website.
Mm-hmm.
But before we get into all of that, we're participating in the official sport of quarantine, day drinking.
Curling.
So,
day drinking. Yes.
Yeah, day drinking for sure. So I'm drinking Breckenridge rum and Coke. So,
ooh, wow.
Yeah, getting a little fancy. It's a spiced rum, so you know.
I too am getting fancy with my new favorite quarantine beer, new favorite beer in general, made by Oskar Blues up in Longmont, but it's a 100 calorie IPA. So I'm keeping my quarantine body slim, but still enjoying that full flavor of an IPA.
Was that just a commercial?
It might have been. That was just off the top of the head, but I'm very clever like that. So speaking on off the top on the top of my head, most people are probably thinking, wow, Michael, you look great in hats. And I do, but I'm wearing a hat because I haven't had a haircut in like 10 weeks and it's just untamed. It's like the Amazon forest up there.
Sure. Yeah, we do a company happy hour, and it's all virtually done right now on Thursdays, and you had that hair just going.
Oh man, I looked like Jimmy Neutron. I hope that doesn't date me or people know who that is, but if you don't, Google him.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely did. You had that going on.
Yeah.
And I get it. Like, can we please just get the gym and barbershops open?
Right. Specifically the barbershop.
But yeah, because you got the 100 calorie beer, you don't really have to worry about the gym.
Right, exactly. Yeah. That's just my breakfast, lunch, and dinner is one beer every meal.
Solid. Well, so diving into our topic today, we're talking chatbots, and you know, we've seen like this huge increase in usage, and like demand for chat, right?
Yeah.
As the way that people are using websites has changed so much, and you know, we've all heard the like, oh, you know, attention spans, right? Like you only have somebody for so many seconds, and then you're gonna lose them. And I think this is just a product of that.
Well, I think,
you know, people aren't.
Should I go? I'll go. This whole like video chatting, this is how every conference call goes now, but I'll talk over you at this point. I think it also plays into the whole internet like age that we live in, where it's the instant gratification of like, okay, I'm not going to go to this page and then this page and then this page and then click here and then I find the answer I'm looking for. It's like, I need an answer and I need it now. And if I can't find it, like you said, within 10 seconds, you've lost my attention, I'll go elsewhere. Rather than just go to those other pages, I will literally get off of your website, Google the same thing I just Googled, and just go to the next search result.
Right, because somebody's going to give it to me quicker.
Makes absolutely no sense, but that's what I do, and that's what everybody does.
Right, it's just one of those things that we don't have the patience to search your website, right? We're not going to go to your website, look at all your navigation. Okay, that one might sound like it is. Oh no, it's not. Let's look again. Let's scroll to the footer, see if something's down there.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's just not a thing anymore. People aren't willing to do that, and so you know, we've had a lot of conversations with clients about adding chat and adding chatbots, and really like you have to have a live chat before you have a chatbot. And we get the like objection of like, who's gonna man that? Like, we don't have time for that. And I just always come back to like, okay, but if somebody called your business, would somebody answer the phone?
Exactly.
Right. You probably don't have somebody sitting there staring at the phone to answer it.
Right.
And it's the same kind of thing. You're answering in a different manner.
And in a more popular manner right now. More people like to find things on the internet. They kind of like not having to pick up the phone. And if my phone rings and I don't know the number, I'm likely not going to answer the first time. Except for in sales, feel free to call me. I will answer. But if somebody calls my cell phone, I'm not going to answer it if I don't know that number.
Yeah, I mean, I don't call anyone for anything. Like if a friend or somebody calls me, I'm like, who died?
I was going to say your mom was telling me she's pretty mad you haven't called in like years.
Yeah, it's actually, I think I get it from her because like I remember in high school, like I would call her because I needed something. She would ignore my call, like it would go straight to voicemail, and then she would text me and say, "What do you need?" I'm like, I need you to answer the phone.
Just answer the phone. Let me know if I can have this bag of Doritos.
Right. But it's that is how consumer behavior has changed. The chat has become so useful, and it's mandatory now. Like, let's just call it what it is. Like, if you don't have a chat on your website, like people are frustrated, you're losing customers, people are leaving, your bounce rates are probably high. Like there's a lot of problems with not having it.
Right.
And so just kind of diving into some of the reasons to have a chat bot, outside of like that's how people want to interact with your website, but like you can qualify leads for your sales team, and even qualify them for marketing, right? Through that chat bot, just by understanding who they are, what they're looking for, what their intentions are. You can get things like, what's your budget? What services or products are you interested in? Get them to sign up for. Yeah, there's so much that you can do there. They can help to determine like, okay, what stage of the sales process are they in, right? Are they just kind of leads? Are they marketing qualified? Are they sales qualified? Are they hot leads? Are they cold leads? Like there's so much you can do by just getting some answers through automation.
Right. Which, depending on this, I mean, anybody should care about this, right? You don't want your marketing team or your sales team wasting time with people that aren't eventually going to convert, that aren't your ideal customer, that aren't your target persona. And so the chatbot helps to eliminate a lot of those inefficiencies. For me, our chatbot works really well with servicing customers, getting them to the places they need, answering their questions. But if it's 9 p.m. and somebody gets on the website or something like that, and it finally pushes out a form and it's like, yeah, this person is exactly what we're looking for. The chatbot helped them out. And then it said, yeah, we can help you with that. Fill out this form. Somebody will get back to you tomorrow. Like that helps me so much. Or if somebody's like, I've got a budget of $50 a month, it's like, completely understand. Unfortunately, we can't do much with that budget. And so it disqualifies them, and it saves me a ton of time versus answering that phone call, going through a 15-minute, hey, what are your needs? What are this? Oh, you've only got $50. Okay, unfortunately, we can't help you. Here's some other resources for you. So it helps me a ton with just qualifying and disqualifying people that are coming to the site.
Right. Well, and I mean, we get a lot of inbound leads ourselves. And so like just paying attention to like, okay, who should you spend your time with? And which ones do you want to pick up the phone and call? Because there's just not time to go through every single person that comes through, because every business is getting bad leads, right? There are people that aren't a good fit. They come through, they are looking at things that maybe they can't afford or aren't right for their business, or whatever. So if you can identify that up front, instead of having that 15-30 minute discovery call just to find out, well, that was a waste of my time. That's a big deal for salespeople.
Yeah.
And kind of along those same lines, when somebody is a good fit, right? They go through the chat bot, they've answered some questions, and you determine like the path that they went down signifies, hey, they are sales qualified.
Mm-hmm.
You can also set up a meeting then. You can have them book a meeting right through there.
Yeah.
And save the step, right? Like people want that instant gratification. So if they can schedule it right then, why, why wouldn't they? They don't need you to call them to say, hey, let's schedule a time, or send an email to them and say, hey, here's my calendar link. Like they can do it themselves right there. They don't ever have to talk to you until that meeting.
Right. Yeah, which is fantastic. It eliminates what I just said of, okay, they filled out this form, then I call them the next day. It's like, okay, we know what you just highlighted. If you're ready to book the meeting, let's book it.
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, I think it all comes back to like a friction conversation, right? The less friction in your marketing and sales, the more people are going to get to that bottom of the funnel and are going to close, right? The easier you make it for people,
The
the more
higher
successful
conversion.
it's going to be.
Totally.
Exactly. And so I think a chatbot just does that so effectively.
Yep.
And then, I mean, there's also other uses. So you think of it from like a support aspect, like incorporating your knowledge base or how-tos or quick answers to common questions. Like there's so many things that you can do there in order to give people the answers that they're looking for, or to support your product or support your service, or whatever, where you don't have to worry about, okay, I've got to staff this, I've got to have people available to answer these calls, and I have to go through a million emails, and I have to answer all these customer inquiries, because there's probably a lot that are repeating, right? Every business has those kind of frequently asked questions, right? People are asking them all the time, and for everyone that asks that question, there's probably a dozen more that had it and didn't ask it.
Right.
And so like I said, we are going to be doing a workshop that we'll talk about a little bit later, but there were some kind of interesting stats that came out of that workshop, and different studies that have been done and things like that. And one of them that kind of jumped off the page at me was that 90% of businesses report faster complaint resolution by using chatbots. Because I think a lot of complaints that come through are, I don't know how to do something, or I'm frustrated because your product's not doing this, your service isn't doing this, or whatever, but they just don't know how.
Right.
And so giving them the resources to answer their own questions, to better utilize your company, I think just eliminates so much of that. Like 90%, that's crazy.
Yeah. Well, I think, again, it goes back to that instant. If I have a problem right now and I have to call you and leave a voicemail or send an email that your team's going to get back to me in an hour or two, that's an hour or two that I'm waiting idle, that I'm not getting my problem solved, that I've moved on. Now I've, got more issues, or my day is stacked up on top of each other. Or I've just moved on and am now looking at your competition or something like that. And so by having that instant gratification of, okay, the chatbot is getting back to me, maybe it kicks it to a live rep, maybe it gets me the resources I need right away, but I'm getting that instant gratification. It's keeping me engaged to where, okay, this is good enough service to where I'm still happy and I can either figure out my issue right there.
Right. Yeah, and I think that it's one of those things that the more helpful you are, the better. And there's a lot to consider when you start thinking about chat and chatbots. And like one of the things that just drives me absolutely insane is, we use a lot of softwares. I saw some number that was like the average business has 200 softwares or tools that they use on a daily basis. That's insane. But like we do, like I was going through like our list of things that we use, and I'm like, oh, I can kind of see how you get there.
Right.
But the thing that drives me insane is like when somebody has a chat, it's a live chat, but then like you submit it and it says like, we typically respond in 2 hours. Like that's not a chat. Yeah. Like why wouldn't, like if you don't have the manpower to just have live chat and somebody's always on it, create a chatbot.
Right.
I bet I could have found my answer that I was looking for if you had just given me the artificial intelligence, the answers to my questions that you have.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That just drives me insane. And like,
Yeah.
I've definitely had those situations where I'm like, this is so stupid. Like, what other companies are out there that do this? Because I can't handle this.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, hey, we respond in typically 2 hours. It's like, okay, so you gave me a support email and said it was a chat bot and just kind of threw over a prettier title than a support
Right.
email. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It drives me crazy. But, and so we're with the chat bot. I think that another thing that kind of goes glossed over that people don't really consider, but like bounce rates. One thing that we've seen ourselves is when we rolled out our chatbot, it's not nearly as sophisticated as like other ones for clients or things like that, just because, of the business that we're in, and we don't have like knowledge base as far as like products and how to use them and things like that.
Yeah.
Like ours is pretty simple. Like, hey, what are you looking for? Let us help you find it.
Right.
But once we rolled that out, we saw our bounce rates go way down, which, if you're not familiar, like a bounce rate is essentially somebody comes to your website, goes to that one page and then leaves. They don't look at a second page on your site. And that's a problem because typically, like, the most frequented page on most websites is the home page, where you don't dive deep into things, right? It's a kind of an overview. And then you need them to get to an interior page to see about your products or about your services, or to look at your pricing or schedule a meeting or whatever.
Yeah.
And like, one thing that I just think that most people take for granted is that your chatbot can dramatically decrease your bounce rate and get people into a second page and into a third page by just saying, hey, for us, you're looking for inbound marketing? Great. Here's the page. Go check it out.
Yeah.
And instead of them having to find it themselves.
Yeah. Well, I love that it's a great way to provide them service or content or whatever they're looking for, but it's not intrusive. It's like, okay, if you're coming to the website and there's a little X to click out of it, and that was pretty easy, and you know exactly where you're going from here. But if it's like you're coming to the website for the first time, or you do have questions, or who do I contact, or where can I help myself, that thing is perfect. And it also keeps people more beyond just bouncing off of, our website. It's kind of like, yeah, I did come because I've got questions about inbound marketing, but wow, you guys also offer PR. Like, it can also kind of spark some interest and, again, keep people engaged in other ways than what they just came for.
Right. Absolutely. And I think that's a great point, that like, it could be an additional upsell or sales opportunity, because I didn't know what I didn't know, right? Like, I didn't know you did that, but I'm going to check it out now.
Or what is that? What is inbound PR or something like that?
Right. Yeah, I love that too. And then I think that it's one of those things that people get a little worried about, like, oh, it's a chat bot, like it's going to be super complicated. I don't know what I'm doing here. And so that's why, we do run we co-host the Boulder HubSpot user group.
Yeah.
HubSpot does have a chatbot feature. It's available, I believe, even at the free level, with limited tools in it. But we're going to be running a virtual workshop. So it'll be hands-on, even though we're virtual. So, kind of feels weird to call it a hands-on workshop, but it'll be virtual. It's on May 13th from 11 to 12:30. It's just called Using Chatbots to Improve Your Customer Experience. So we're co-hosting that with Magnetic, and we'll have HubSpot also involved in, okay, how do you create a chatbot that's impactful? So I'll have the link below, invite you to check it out. I think it'll be a great learning experience for kind of everyone involved. Even if you're familiar with chatbots, there's probably something that you take away from it, like, oh, we need to implement that.
And it's actually going to be ran by a chatbot, right? Like everybody's.
Yeah.
Thank you for your question.
Yeah, I think that's actually, that kind of brought up another point for me. You just saying that, like, I see that a lot of businesses get freaked out by, oh, we're going to say it's a bot, and so they try to disguise it as a person. So it looks like Michael's live chatting, and then you're like, wait a second, like, what are you talking about? Like, answer my question.
Yeah.
I think that's a huge mistake that too many businesses are still making. Like, nobody cares that it's a bot. Like,
be honest,
if it answers my question, I don't care.
Right.
So I think just being very transparent of like, hey, for us, like, we call it HiveBot. Like, HiveBot greets you, and at a certain point, like, it'll tell you, hey, I'm just a bot, but I'll connect you to somebody that can answer your question. So don't try to disguise your bots as real people. It just never works out.
Yeah.
And I would say, if you don't have chat, or whether it's live or chat bots, get it on your website. There's so many tools out there.
A lot of free tools. Like you mentioned HubSpot, but there's a lot of free tools.
For sure. And I mean, obviously, like, a lot of the tools have kind of a paid model too, that you get more functionality and whatever. But just start with something. You need it on your website. It's no longer optional. Like, it's one of those things that if you don't have it, so you're losing so much business.
Right. Totally.
So yeah, check it out. Check out HubSpot. Like I said, it's available and free. Their starter growth suite is just $50 a month now, and you get a little bit extra functionality and things like that. Like, just invest in it, because that customer experience on your website is make or break.
Yeah, it's invaluable.
Right. Well, great. So like I said, come check out our HubSpot user group workshop. Even if you're not a HubSpot user currently, like, there's always good information that comes out of it. And if you're considering HubSpot, if you're a long-time HubSpot user, like, come check it out.
Yeah.
And then the last part of our podcast is, how's the buzz? You had mentioned at the very beginning that this is your new favorite beer, and you're getting skinny with an IPA, and those words have never been in the same sentence.
True. Preach it. Yeah, I mean, like I mentioned, this is not my first one. I just got privy to them about a week ago. Mm-hmm. So this is only my second 6-pack, but it's like my new favorite beer, my second 6-packs today. Yeah. And so highly recommend them. I found it at Trader Joe's, actually, and I trust everything Trader Joe's does.
You are team Trader Joe's for sure.
Yeah, 100%. Their food is great. So they're good.
Nice. Mine's good too. I'm not normally a big rum fan. I always associate rum with that's what you drink when you're newly 21, because you have no idea what you actually like.
Okay. I think of the beach.
Okay, fair. I mean, I guess vacation. Okay, I get it. Yeah. I get it. It's not something that I would normally pick up. Mm-hmm. But it's spiced, it's good. It does feel a little bit summery, so why not?
Embrace it from inside your own home.
Right. I do like Breckenridge though. Big fan of their gin. So we had to try something new.
Yeah, fair enough.
Well, great. Make sure to like and subscribe. Again, we'll have that workshop link down below. Register, it's free. It's not a salesy thing at all. It's an educational workshop. So we'll have another episode in a couple weeks, and we'll see you then.
See you guys.